Well, my friend has already mentioned how mobile can be used in several different ways, how far can be evolved with all these applications coming in, and what can be the next era that we can see the mobile phone coming with as a new revolution in healthcare. My focus today here is keeping in mind the healthcare providers, the handset providers, as well as the operators. I'll not go into the statistics to a large extent because that's already been told by Mr. Gupta. If you see at a little specified way of the statistics we have just heard, India, if you look at the mobile penetration in India, if we go for numbers, we outnumber the entire US population. It's that huge, you know. And if we look at the rate with which it is growing, it's exponential. And to drive a little more attention towards this, I will tell you that this growth which is happening, especially happening in semi-urban and rural areas, where people are buying value handsets. And not to be said, today these value handsets also have multimedia facility. They also have a camera. It's a 2,000 rupees headset I'm talking about. And the services I'll be talking about right here could be as low as 30 rupees per month. That is equal to a service of astrology, of an entertainment service, of a music, caller tune service, or something of that sort. I just want to discuss about the immediate business models that could happen in India immediately, with people like you and me getting very comfortable with it, and also the suburban and rural people understanding it in a very better way. Probably if I try and discuss about WiMAX, 3G, 4G to you guys, you will say that, okay Ruchi, this is what we all know. But you tell us how much is happening in this arena, and I'll be answerless, to be very frank. I was amazed to see in the morning, when I was booking my flight back, that one of the friends assisted me in saying that, okay, I'll book it by mobile app. And I said, are you going to browse the internet using the mobile? He said, no, I have an application ready. It's very easy to see today that if you want to book a ticket, you already know by the kind of advertisements coming on your mobile phone that who is the nearest person where you have to go and book a ticket. So the fight is all about convenience at the doorstep, right? So I'll briefly take you to the presentation. These are the kind of statistics we have, which we have already discussed. We are going towards 510 million of total subscribers. And let me tell you, off the record, there are handset companies, there are operators who are coming into this arena to exploit this. Because what is happening in the mobile market as of now, I will touch the pain point, that, for one call in India, the charges are the lowest, as we have just seen the statistics. So there is volume. People earn by volume. And to manage this volume is not an easy thing. So to be a savior, the next thing that is coming up is VAS, what we call as value-added services. And this will catch up. This will catch up because VAS we anyways use for astrology, we use for entertainment, we use for music, we use for several other things. So to get it incorporated in the same platform, say in a very specialized way as in healthcare, would be even more interesting. People like me who are asthmatics will not mind to pay 30 rupees a month if somebody is actually giving me personalized information or even localized information for that cost. Now I'll tell you that how the healthcare business environment is changing. What was it 10 years ago? What is it right now? How big was the technology 10 years ago? How is it right now? How comfortable were people with WiMAX, 3G, GPRS, WAP for that cost, and how they are today? So I'll tell you that today we have budgets. Today we have understanding in the government. Today public-private partnership is something that we can think of, which was not earlier. I'll not name the entity, but there was a time when I actually did a project how healthcare can be sold through post offices, and those people kept the papers and then kept on calling me कि हमारा percentage कितना होगा, right? So that was the kind of thing that is there, and this is the kind of thing which is happening today. So now the economic growth is there for 6-figure salaries. People like me and you need not go to US and UK. Lifestyles are changing. And we are getting more and more sedentary. So to the existing disease burden, add 14.1% more of disease burden of lifestyle disorders like cardiovascular diseases, hypertension, occupational related diseases like asthma, and so on. We have an aging population. There is an immediate statistics which says that by 2010, India will be the largest diabetic population in the world. So the focus right now is to the technology, but at the same point of time, I want services to be there as well, so that we can make a platform for the upcoming technology to be absorbed and digested. So if I tell you, my first focus would be prevention. Because look, what happens is that you already are suffering from a disease, you go to a doctor, probably you get a best treatment in India, right? But today, if I am getting a little dizzy and if I feel that I am burping a lot, I don't know what I am suffering from. I don't know how to prevent, what a good lifestyle is all about. There is no health awareness. You know, people know about treatment of a disease. People can go to the doctor for treatment, but people don't know about follow-ups. People don't know about the prevention mode. The answers are very few. I started on this project keeping in mind that what will we do probably is that we'll tie up with Google Maps and we'll tie up with Google, and Google goes across with all the blogs all over the world, and they'll collect the information that how swine flu is tackled in all these countries, and then we'll pass on the information to other people in my country that what are the measures that can be taken to keep away from this. But that never happened because there was a flaw. Google crawler crawls pages of blogs only once, and even if they get updated, it never crawls them again. So I'm not getting updated real-time information. That was the call for it. So the whole idea is minuscule. So right now I'm talking about prevention. When I talk about prevention, I talk about three things. To suppress the positive factors of a disease, A. To improve the conditions of our existing disease, 2. And early detection of a disease. For that, reaching the masses is the first thing.
Okay, 2 minutes.
If you look at it, the internet penetration and the mobile penetration in India, we are talking about a ratio which is like 5 and 500. And people are much more comfortable with mobile phones. Mobile phones are more personal. Probably a message straight away on your mobile phone will give you a moment to think and probably to act. This is one model which I have kept in mind while taking the rural health care. For example, there is a malaria outbreak in a rural India. So the first message that goes to suppress the positive factor of the disease is, don't let the water collect or stagnate. Mosquitoes that cause malaria breathe in stagnant water. Add earth to puddles, kerosene and all that. The second thing, when I know that there is something which is happening from this side, can go for an early detection of disease because I think that the person is readily want to know the information. So that thing I can tell that, okay, most of the people start with chilling, fevers, at night. And then I can tell them that get a blood test done and this is the name of the blood test, you have to get it done. And then probably the information using a short code service, stating where to get it done, who are the people who are providing it in the nearby areas. And that is the first step to go. I don't know how many people were there yesterday with me, but Padmanabhan sent a very good note about Tokyo toilets. So intelligence is today built in toilets, where you just go to pee and you never know that you have got a urine examination done, your blood pressure is there, temperature has been noted down, and you come out of the bathroom quite tense. So any case, any application that is going to come back in any area has to mask itself, has to be of convenient, has to be of a daily routine. It should not be something which is imposed because going to a doctor itself is out of the routine where you have to cut your schedule. So something which can be that convenient is something which could be the in thing. Social networking on the mobiles could be a very good thing because if you actually look at the kind of patients according to the BCG report, the majority of patients, when they go to doctors, they either search about the doctor, read about their disease and go there, or otherwise they come back and just check. The doctor and say the way they are in. Right? So this information, the hunger of information is surely there. There are ways to reach it, and there is a point to initiate. So the immediate business model could be health awareness tips. Word of mouth spread is very good when social networking happens over the mobile phone, when SMSs go, when health tips go. People know that who is the best doctor, where to go for a treatment, and we have this spending power today. There are support groups who can support you. I'll just take you a small time, Mr. Gupta. Say a doctor recommends an insulin pump for a newly diagnosed diabetic, right? Here the patient doesn't have the idea what it is, so it could be scary for him. Anything which your brain doesn't know, your eyes can't see, right? So anything that could be reassuring while talking to the other patients of the same disease could be very reassuring. It could be something like, okay, I'm talking to somebody who has already used it. That's have been a mindset among all the patients.